At 29, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It's a type of lymphoma called Hodgkin's disease. I had less than 40% chance of living for 5 years, so I knew I had to start taking my health into my own hands. I grew up more into not health. I definitely ate the standard American diet for most of my lifestyle, very heavy meat, heavy sugar, alcohol as well, and in that, definitely my health suffered for that. At a very young age, at 29, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It's a type of lymphoma called Hodgkin's disease, and back then, I didn't really know much at all about nutrition or health or complementary medicine at all, and definitely a scary time, and with doctors that wanted me to do well and family that wanted me to do well. I had a lot of pressure back then, and I did do some chemotherapy, did about 6 months worth, and after that experience, it landed me back into the hospital with a highly compromised immune system. I was getting sick with all types of viruses, electrolyte imbalances. I had no energy back then. My memory was shot from the chemotherapy. It's called chemo brain, and I was quite heavy and just not really doing well. And some of the statistics that I was given back then said I had less than 40% chance of living for 5 years, so I knew I had to start taking my health into my own hands and started to do a tremendous amount of research. I was reading books, scouring the internet. I was also attending workshops on health and nutrition and wellness, meeting with registered dietitians, naturopathic doctors, other doctors, and I was living in Philadelphia at that time, and I got really lucky and I ran into a lecture with Dr. Brian Clement, was the keynote speaker. He's the director here at the Hippocrates Health Institute, and they were teaching how to do the raw and the living foods over the course of a weekend. And what he said really made a lot of sense to me. There was a lot of people that have done well with it in the past, a lot of people that have healed themselves of different disorders, and there was a lot of good science behind it. So I started to add these foods into my life back then, and I started to feel better. I started to get my energy back, the weight started to come off, my memory started coming back, and it's been over 13 years, and I haven't had any issues with cancer at all, and recently confirmed with different testing I've done, like MRI, and this lifestyle has been tremendous for me in that respect, and it's helped me in many other aspects of my life beyond just helping me to prevent cancer as well.
I always say it's best to learn from other people's mistakes. You've done a lot of right things to put yourself in the position you're in now. What would you say one or two of the biggest mistakes you made, and are they common mistakes you see people make, or were they just unique to your situation?
And mistakes before or after I started a lifestyle?
Once you got diagnosed with cancer.
Once diagnosed with cancer, probably one of the bigger mistakes that I made was just looking at supplementation and thinking, well, these say that they're good for this, this, and this, but at that time I didn't really understand supplementation and some of the things that it can do for people or not do in some cases. And here at Hippocrates, we recommend whole food based nutrition, also whole food based supplementation, because there's many synthetic supplements on the markets these days, and with that, when you take in a synthetic supplement into your system, your body will see it the same way it will a cancer cell, a viral cell. It will actually attack that and make the immune function weaker. So back then I was using some supplements that were not ideal, which wasn't ideal, and also back then, didn't really know much about nutrition, and a lot of the doctors back then were just saying eat whatever you want, and I was using a lot of protein back then in the form of animal products, which actually were creating more acid in my system. And depending on where I got those animal products, they can actually have more antibiotics, more hormones, And in acid, especially with cancer, cancer will thrive in a more acidic environment. So we work towards alkalizing here at Hippocrates using the foods and everything we do.
From your experience, is there any type of cancer or disease in general that you don't feel there's a connection with food or can be healed through changing a lifestyle, or do you think every single disease out there will help?
It's a good question. I think there definitely will be improvement with pretty much any type of health challenge that one is going through. Now, depending on what's going on, there might be certain things that the lifestyle might have a harder time with. For example, late stages of Alzheimer's or dementia, there might be some improvements, but full reversals, I'm not sure. So there's certain conditions where it might not help to make a full reversal, but definitely great improvement in their quality of life.
Tom, in closing, you've experienced disease and have overcome the health challenge. Somebody that's going through this right now, whether they just got diagnosed or they've been dealing with it for many, many years, what would you like to say to them?
Well, there's always hope, whether you're at a very advanced stage of something or you just found out about it. There's always hope where you can continue to learn and educate yourself and to always do things that can benefit yourself. Take your health into your own hands. Don't look at any one person as a total expert, especially, your doctors, even if they're well-meaning. Their training in many areas is quite limited in some areas. So you want to definitely continue to research things, find out what's best for you. And if you can come to a facility like Hippocrates to help with that, I think you would be much better off.
Great. Anything else you want to add?
If anyone needs to contact me, you can contact me here at the Hippocrates Health Institute, or you can email me if you'd like. If you have questions that come up, my email is tfisher, Fisher, at hippocratesinst.org. And I'd be glad to help you out.
Great. Thank you very much, Tom.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.